In this session, I want us to explore together our avoidant behaviours, those actions that we're tempted to engage in when we're experiencing difficult thoughts and feelings, the things we're tempted to do to distract us from or to push away or to get rid of the difficult thoughts and feelings that we don't want to experience. Remember, according to these psychological processes, these acceptance and commitment processes, what is healthy for us psychologically is not to try and push away our difficult thoughts and feelings, but to let them be there and to choose to engage in actions that bring us closer to our values rather than actions that push away the things that we don't want to experience. But if we're going to do that, we need to be aware of the kinds of actions that we're tempted to engage in when we are experiencing difficult thoughts and feelings. And again, the evidence suggests that there's 4 ways in which we might be tempted to avoid difficult thoughts and feelings. We might be tempted to distract ourselves from them, maybe through binge watching Netflix or engage in some sort of adrenaline rush or something that's going to distract us from our full experience of difficult thoughts and feelings. There's opting out. We may choose to opt out of social situations or other things that we would want to engage in, but that actually bring up too many difficult thoughts and feelings for us. So we might shut down and stay at home and avoid difficult things. There's thinking strategies. We talked about saying to ourselves, don't think of a pink elephant, but we can say to ourselves, don't think those difficult thoughts, don't feel those difficult feelings, try and push them away. Those are unhelpful thinking strategies. And then there's substances. We may overindulge in alcohol or caffeine or sugar or anything that would blot out and numb our feelings and distract us again to help us avoid those difficult thoughts and feelings. So let's pause in this session to reflect and think about the behaviours that we're tempted to engage in to avoid those difficult thoughts and feelings. If we look at Jesus's life, he doesn't appear to engage in this kind of avoidant behaviour. He allows himself to be tempted by the devil. He allows himself to be arrested and crucified. He allows himself to ride out the storm asleep in the boat with his disciples. He allows himself to be honest with God in the Garden of Gethsemane. He allows himself to cry and to be hungry. So as we think about these things today in this session, let's pause again, take some deep breaths to reflect on the here and now. When we're experiencing difficult thoughts and feelings in our lives, what actions are we tempted to engage in? If you can write those down, if you can get them clear in your mind, then we can notice when we're engaging in them and choose to engage in committed, value-driven actions instead. One thing that's interesting here is that the same behaviour can be both a good thing, guided by our values and the way we want to live, and an avoidant behaviour that takes us away from what we don't want to experience in our thoughts and our feelings. The same action may be motivated in 2 different ways. So let's take, for example, Jesus going out into the wilderness. Now, it's possible for people to go out into the wilderness because they're opting out of social situations that bring on difficult thoughts and feelings. It's possible to go out into the wilderness to be distracted by the beauty of the scenery. But we don't seem to see that in Jesus. He doesn't go out there because he's trying to avoid difficult thoughts and feelings. He goes out there because he is driven by the Spirit. It's a values-based action. He's going out there because he values listening to God and following his leading by the Spirit. So in this session, as we explore the avoidant actions that we are tempted to engage in, the times when we're tempted to distract ourselves, to opt out, to think our way out of things, and to engage in unhelpful substances that numb our senses, may God give us grace to notice and to be aware that we may choose wisely how we live our lives and experience the fullness of life that Jesus came to give us.